Please welcome Box co-founder and CEO, Aaron Levy.
All right. Hello. How's everybody doing? Welcome to BoxWorks 2024. This is our first BoxWorks back in person. Who's been to at least 2 BoxWorks before in the past? Make some noise. All right. Thank you for coming back. We are really excited for what's in store today. I guarantee that this will be our biggest set of announcements that we've ever had at a BoxWorks before. We've been working for the past couple of years on the announcements that you're going to see on stage today. Teams have been hard at work and driving a new era of what we can do with our data and our content in the enterprise. So I am extremely confident that if you came in here today with a whole set of use cases that you've been thinking about trying to solve with content in the enterprise, I believe you're going to see some fundamental answers to those questions today. So first of all, a huge thank you to everybody in this room, customers, partners, and the ecosystem that's out here. Box now has over 115,000 customers and 67% of the Fortune 500. And the thing that I get most excited about when I think about Box and our potential and what we get to do is we get to work with so many amazing organizations. Everybody in this room is representative of that, but even globally, the kind of enterprises we get to work with. Everything from fast-growing small startups that are working on game-changing solutions to problems to some of the world's largest enterprises. And what keeps us so passionate is that we get to build a platform that works for all of you. And we want to keep hearing your feedback. We want to hear what we can be doing better. We always want to know what we can be doing to push the platform forward. But again, round of applause for all of you, thank you for all the amazing work that you do. When we think about organizations that leverage Box, whether it's organizations like Nike that are pushing retail and consumer products and athleticism forward, Broadcom, which is really powering the AI revolution that we're now experiencing, organizations like AstraZeneca that are delivering life-saving drugs and treatments, or government institutions and agencies like the U.S. Air Force. And happy Veterans Day yesterday, certainly for anybody who served. So big round of applause for all those members of our military. What every single one of these organizations have in common is they are propelled by and powered by their most important data and their content. And at Box, our mission is to power how the world works together. When we started the company, this mission was focused on how do you share and collaborate around your data. But as you're going to see in today's keynote, it's expanded quite a bit more to power workflows across the enterprise. So our mission is to power how the world works together. And fundamentally, we can only deliver that mission if we fundamentally understand where work is going. And so we're entering an all-new era of work in the enterprise. And I think we all experience this day in and day out. But just to really call out what we're all seeing, we know that AI is entering the workforce. We know that all the work we're doing is going to be augmented or accelerated or enhanced by AI. This is affecting all of our organizations. With AI, we know that the power of data becomes even more important. We can make data-driven insights and decisions much faster. We know that we're delivering digital-first experiences to employees and customers and our ecosystem partners alike. This means we have to collaborate seamlessly in and outside of our organizations, and if we're going to do that, we have to make sure we keep the data and information secure as we're working with all of those partners and ecosystems that we are collaborating with. And so when you think about where work is going, it's fundamentally different from the way that we worked 5, 10, or 20 years ago in the enterprise. And when you think about those trends, content remains at the center of everything that we're doing inside of our organizations. Content is the lifeblood of business. It's how we launch new products. It's those CAD designs that turn into a great new product or the engineering specifications that turn into new software. It's how we market to customers and deliver amazing new ad campaigns. It's how you enable employees and onboard them to do their best work. It's how you hire those employees in the first place and how you close deals at the end of a sales cycle or close the books at the end of a quarter. And so this content is the lifeblood of our business. It's how we make decisions. It's how we build products. It's how we serve our customers. The challenge that we see is that we're not getting as much value from this content as we know is possible. So we know that we have so much data in the enterprise, and yet we're only tapping into a small percentage of that data. If you kind of zoom out and you think about the data estate inside of an organization, about 10% of our information is structured data. So this is the stuff that's not really content. This is our structured data inside of a database, a CRM system, an ERP system, some structured data store. And for years, really since the database got started, you were always able to summarize information. You could synthesize information. You could query this data, pull out customer records, add up cells, and quickly deliver a business insight. We could do this for the 10% of our data that's structured. But that's only 10% of our data. The 90% that is unstructured data, this is actually what makes up the vast majority of information in the enterprise. Now, some of it is communication data and maybe emails or Slacks, but the vast majority of that is enterprise content. It's the files that we work with that, again, propel our products and our services to customers. And the vast majority of this data, we've really never been able to tap into. And so there's an incredible amount of unrealized value from all of this information. And when we started the company, we had a really simple mission. Again, make it easy to access and share that information from anywhere. And that was what the founding premise. But as we had more and more data in the platform, as we saw what people were doing with it, we knew there had to be more that we could go and accomplish. And that's where AI begins to fundamentally transform how we can work with our content. There's a few big ways that we are focused on delivering AI. And you're going to see this through the keynote today around how we're going to revolutionize what we can do with our enterprise content. The first is we can generate insights, because you can talk to your data for the first time. You can talk to your content. You can get summarization. You can get feedback instantly on your information. You're going to see some mind-blowing examples of what this looks like. You can also begin to automate any workflow. So once you can use AI to read a document or listen to an audio file or watch a video, you can pull out the structured data from that content. If you can pull out the structured data, then you can begin to automate business process. And so we're going to see all new ways that we can automate business processes in the enterprise today. So stay tuned on that. And then finally, once you can have AI understand your information, you can better classify and protect data, because we can now know what information we're working with, what's being shared, and you can better tune the security parameters of your enterprise to that information. So this is the revolution that we are now able to deliver. The challenge is that the way that most organizations, hopefully nobody in this room, but the way that a lot of organizations have their information managed is just fundamentally broken. And we are working to go and try and solve that. If you go to a lot of organizations that are kind of early in this journey, what we tend to see is content is just fragmented across a wide variety of systems. We have lots of data silos. Each of these data silos means that end users are less productive, because they don't know where to go to get their information. They don't know where the latest version or copy of a file or piece of content is. This also means that the data is unsecure, right? If you don't have, if you have sort of unsynchronized systems from a permission standpoint, they get out of sync and somebody has access to a piece of information they shouldn't have, or you don't even know what's inside of one of these systems, and then thus you have a new exposure or vulnerability. And of course, when you have all these systems, it's extremely costly, because we have a lot of redundancy on this technology. But now, making matters even worse, it's almost impossible to make AI work seamlessly across this stack of technology. So it's too costly, it's unsecure, it's unproductive, and AI is now, you're not able to get as much value from this information in this new AI era that we're in. So we need a better way to work with our information and our content. And that is what we're going to be talking about today, and what we're announcing with the future of intelligent content management. So, we have been building the leading intelligent content management platform to power the complete life cycle of content, from the moment you create content, to how you protect it, to how you enrich it with metadata, being able to collaborate inside or outside the enterprise, automate any workflow, get unlimited e-signatures built into the platform, how you publish content to teams and departments internally or externally, get analytics and insights on that data, and retain content at the end of the life cycle. And of course, we can't do this without our partner ecosystem, so we extend that content and functionality to every application that our customers want to be able to use. And you're going to see some great partner examples today on stage. But when this AI wave really started to explode, we decided we're not going to have AI as another piece of our platform. We're going to bake AI into the center of the platform to make all of our capabilities more intelligent. And so today, we're incredibly excited to make a set of announcements around what we can now do with an intelligent content management platform, where AI is baked into the center of where we work with our content, and how do we begin to automate workflows, gain new insights, and better manage our information at scale. So, the future of work starts today, and in just a moment, I'm going to bring up Diego, our Chief Product Officer, to share a bit more about our core platform and lead up to our announcements. But first, I'd love for you to hear from one of our customers around how they are using intelligent content management from Box. Thank you.
Protecting the health of those important furry members of our family is critical. They're part of what brings joy and happiness, and we see increasingly that people recognize getting that care is an important part of extending the lifespan of those members of our family.
We have that passion at IDEX for health and wellness of pets and livestock, and that's a critical reason to get up every day and do your best.
IDEX was started over 40 years ago in beautiful Portland, Maine, but we operate all over the world. The largest part of our business is supporting veterinarians through software and diagnostics. We also do testing of water. Over 2.5 billion people drink water that's been tested for safety by IDEX products. As a growth organization, our content was growing exponentially. It was all over the place. And it became clear to us that our content strategy had to change. And by pulling it all together in Box, an intelligent content management system has helped our enterprise operate more smoothly, more efficiently, onboarding members of the team with the access that they need to the information they need, where and when they need it. It also allows us to unlock more from our content, querying it, updating metadata more quickly, protecting it. That's why we're excited about intelligent content management. The transparency, the management, the protection of critical information for our enterprise is how we're going to continue to grow.
Please welcome Diego Dugatkin, Chief Product Officer.
Thank you, IDEX. What a beautiful video, and hello, San Francisco. It's so great to be here in person. This is such a special time because the new era of content management begins. Now, this is not only a special time for us at Box, but for all of you, our customers and partners. And it's special because now, as you saw in the IDEX video, we have the opportunity to take content to a new level, to extract value and power from that content. But not all companies and not all organizations have been able to do that. Why? Well, you know, existing and legacy systems have been basically creating a difficult challenge because they were not always having the most intuitive experience, and intelligent content management truly provides a simple and user's opportunity to extract value in the simplest ways from content. Now, also existing legacy systems have bolt-on security that intelligent content management allows you to extract in more integrated and efficient ways. In addition to that, the manual processes that were done in traditional systems now we're able to basically move to workflow automated ways to use artificial intelligence to truly extract that value in new ways. Now, the limited ways of integrations that existing systems had now with an open platform that we provide completely brings a new level of ability to extract intelligence from content. And finally, the on-prem implementations are replaced with fully cloud-based scenarios. Now, intelligent content management is truly a game changer, and only Box can take you there. Now, how do you really build an ICM, an intelligent content management system? It all starts with the implementation of a truly global content infrastructure. We started as a company as the place where you kept content in the cloud, and our value has grown tremendously. But it's not only about having that proven infrastructure, it's also to continue to expand it. So we continue to invest in making it highly reliable, highly scalable, and always faster. we are still the only company that provides unlimited storage, and we continue to invest in that infrastructure to make sure that you have bigger files that you can use at the same time, faster uploads, and the ability to put many more files in a single folder. That continues to be an area of investment. But in addition to that global infrastructure, the next element is to have a rock-solid data protection for your content. Protecting your content is our first and most important mission. We always focus first on keeping your data safe. But it's not only about keeping it safe, but also giving you control, the ability to have visibility, and the opportunity to know who's using the content for what and under what terms. Now, in addition to keeping governance and security on the content, we also focus on compliance. We've been expanding the ways to do compliance to virtually every area of the market, every segment, and every industry. And once you have that global infrastructure and the data protection on the content, it's essential to put your content in motion, to get your content to work. And in order to do that, we've moved from being the place where you keep content to where you can act on the content. And it's important to also expand the elements of what you can do in terms of collaboration, because we not only extend the ability to work on the content within the platform, but also to integrate to virtually every application in the market. We would like to always make sure that you have a future-proof implementation that allows you to choose your own tech stack, to be able to put the content into any application in the ecosystem that works for you as you future-proof your implementation. Now, once you have that, the next level is to make sure that you can really apply intelligence to that content. And it's important to basically have at the heart of ICM this unique approach of AI. We know that 90% of the data is truly unstructured. So early on, we determined that the best way to truly extract intelligence out of that content is by basically applying ways to make the unstructured content structured in terms of the insights you can extract from it. Now, our approach is quite unique because it's purpose-built throughout our platform. We infuse AI across every component of what we do. And with all of these components, the next element is to make sure that we always maintain the strategy of applying this to virtually every modality. We implement this for web, for mobile, for desktop, but we also want to make sure that it applies to virtually every element of the ecosystem, integrating with more than 1,500 other elements and software solutions that work with us. Now, if you also want to extend and implement this in a custom way, we have an API-first approach that enables you to build your custom applications also integrated with Box. And as you will hear later today, we also have now expanded to do no-code applications within the platform. Our goal is to allow you to keep your content in Box, but to continue to work in every way that makes sense for your own tech stack. Now, we've been working at this for a long time, and the opportunity that we have now is to expand in every one of these pillars. You'll hear today through the day from every member of the team how we have continued to invest in innovation in every one of the pillars, from having a solid foundation to expanding security and compliance, to extending the way you can do dynamic and modern collaboration and workflows, expanding to the integrations to every one of the players in the ecosystem, and applying AI across the platform. Now, when you think about ICM, all of this matters. And if you think of all the innovations we've done since last BoxWorks in 1 year, I cannot be more proud. The team has expanded so much in every one of these segments. So in a moment, I'm going to invite the rest of the team to talk about each one of these components, starting with Yash and Ben, that are going to talk about AI and all the innovations we have in that front. But we're just getting started. This is not the end of it. We're at the beginning of a new era. And this is a unique moment. And one of the things I'm most excited about is not only about all the innovations we're bringing to you, but about all the possibilities that you, our customers, have to really take intelligent content management to the next level. Thank you.
Please welcome Yashoda Bhavnani, Vice President of Product Management, Box AI.
Wow, isn't this just such an exciting time? You just heard Aaron talk about how AI is transforming the content management landscape. At Box, we're leading the charge for enterprise content AI with 3 aspects. First, supercharging productivity so that your employees can save hundreds of hours. Next, tailoring AI to your business so you can power your business forward. And finally, boosting enterprise efficiency to streamline processes and make your organizations go faster with higher accuracy. Let's dive in and take a look at how Box AI is already transforming enterprise productivity for our customers. Box Hubs, one of my favorite products and one of our newest products. Box Hubs enables you to curate content into a beautifully designed site that you can share with others. I've heard so many of you are already using Box Hubs for your unique needs, such as IT support, product teams, or your go-to-market hubs. The best part? Box AI is built right into Box Hubs. So let's walk through a quick example. Imagine Acme, a global consulting firm with over 1,000 consultants worldwide to help their customers with their IT compliance postures. They built hubs so that both clients and consultants can have one place for all their content. Now, take Sarah. She's a new consultant, and she needs to get ramped up pretty quickly and wants to write an internal memo. Sarah, instead of going through dozens of documents across multiple folders, can now just go to Box AI in Box Hubs and get the lay of the land. Box AI provides her a formatted response in a table that is easy to understand and intuitive. What's best is there are citations for where this content came from. If Sarah was curious, she could click on one of those citations to understand where the content came from and dive deeper. Sarah is curious about the ISO report that her customer was talking about, so she clicks in. Here, she gets to the annual ISO report right in Box. Now, she just needs a bit of insights. She doesn't want to go through this lengthy 60-page document, so she asks Box AI. And Box AI is able to provide her with the 2 key risks that she's curious about. Sarah is now ready to go to Box Notes, our editor product, and use Box AI again to help her write a 1-page internal memo. Here, Sarah gives Box AI some of the insights that she's gleaned, and she gets her memo. In minutes, Sarah has gone from research to insights to a shareable memo, making her more effective and saving her so much time. We know your content comes in many forms, not just text. One of our customers in the real estate industry has over 500,000 images saved securely in Box. Coming soon with Box AI and image querying, now they can understand which of their properties have damage quickly, and they can send out crews much faster. We heard you, and we know the pain. Sometimes you just need insights from a couple of files. Soon, with Box AI, you can select a couple of files right from your folders and ask Box AI for a summary, an insight, or even more. We know your business is unique, and your AI solutions should be too. It's a bit like buying a really cool pair of pants, but they just don't fit. Your AI should fit and be customized to your enterprises. At Box, we want to empower you to customize and build your own AI agents. I'm so proud today to announce our latest product, Box AI Studio. Box AI Studio enables you to create your own custom agent for your enterprise. You can create your agent and give it capabilities. Next, you could even give it custom instructions that are tailored to your enterprise. Then, you can choose your own model for that agent. And when you're ready, you can even play with this agent and understand prompts and responses all in Box AI Studio in the playground. And when you're finally ready, you can deploy this agent to your selected group of users or your entire organization. To tell us more about the capabilities of Box AI Studio, I want to call on stage Meena Ganesh. Meena, we just talked about Acme Consulting and Sarah. How could Box AI Studio help the company even more?
Yeah, thanks, Yash. So let's take a minute and think about what are Sarah's ultimate goals here. Sarah's goal is to make sure that she provides the right recommendations for her clients for their IT compliance posture. So our agent's goal should be to help Sarah achieve her goals. And that's what we'll set for our Box AI agent. Our agent will guide consultants through their IT compliance with making sure that it's having a partnership-focused approach. And we'll make sure it adheres to the right standards, for example, if the clients are in EMEA, having that in mind, and that the tone is consistent with Acme's principles. With that, let's go ahead and build our agent. So we're here in the admin console, and AI Studio is easily accessible from here. So let's click on New Agent. And let's give it a name. Let's call it Acme Consulting Expert. And let's give it some capabilities. Your agents can either answer questions or compose text. We'll have our agent answer questions. Now we come to the fun part, the instructions. Once we get into this portion of the console, we can now specify all of the goals and specifications that we want the agent to follow, including the standards and the tonality that we talked about earlier. So let's put that in. And now we're ready to select our model. Admins can choose from a variety of different supported models by Box. Easily accessible in this dropdown. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, how do you know if this prompt and model configuration actually works for Sarah? It's really great that within this playground, you can actually upload content of your choice securely within Box and test your agent against that content to make sure that the agent works for your specific use cases.
Wow, that was simple. Can we just start using the agent now?
Not yet. This next and last step is so critical because this really showcases how we've extended the guiding principles set by Box AI principles into our studio and with AI agents as well. So you'll notice that our agent is disabled by default, and that's deliberate. We want to make sure that admins be able to control where their agents are and which users access them. So let's go ahead and assign our agent to the right users. Let's assign them to the consulting team and the system engineering experts. And with that last step, we're ready to see our agent in action. Let's go back to the hub that Sarah was in earlier and ask our Box AI default agent a question. We'll ask it to answer a question on compliance and give us a response. Now, this answer is good. It could be better. Let's go ahead and select our newly created Acme Consulting Expert agent, easily accessible in this dropdown, and ask it the same exact question. Perfect. And now you see that this answer is a lot more nuanced. It's taken into account a lot of the specifications like the standards and the tonality that we specified within the studio. And now Sarah is in a much better position to take this recommendation to her clients, and she's a lot closer to achieving her ultimate goal. Back to you, Yash.
Wow, I loved seeing just how the custom AI agent's response was so much more useful. Thank you so much, Meena. Finally, let's talk about how Box AI is also helping build efficiencies. You can extend Box AI's capabilities using AI APIs in your select applications. Soon, you'll be able to use Box AI to extract metadata from your content using AI, to categorize, organize, and create workflows from your content. You'll also be able to use AI classification to protect your most sensitive content. And you'll hear a lot more about all of these capabilities very soon. Let's talk about Funwell. Funwell is a premier customer based in New York that helps their clients get matched with financial options. Being in a heavily regulated industry did not stop Funwell from using Box AI. They've used Box AI's API for metadata extraction, connected it with their CRM in Salesforce to build a solution that is saving their underwriting team so many hours. I want to take a moment to talk about our very deliberate approach to building Box AI right into our platform. What differentiates Box AI from other options in the market is what I call the 3 C's. First, control with security. Second, connectedness with your content. And third, the choice of premier models. Box is already the leader in secure content management, and we have already extended this to our Box AI. We securely provide you your choice of frontier models, and in short, Box provides you the controls you need, understands your permissions, and doesn't train on your data. We build generative AI right into the fabric of Box with our AI platform. Our platform has AI technologies such as Secure RAG to enable multi-doc querying in a model-agnostic way. So, when you adopt Box AI, you not only get a powerful content AI, you also get an AI that is intrinsically connected to your content, secure, giving you the flexibility of your choice of model. I'm so excited, as we're just getting started with AI, to truly guide enterprises on their AI journey forward. To tell us more about how AI is transforming the way we work, let's welcome on stage Dom Grillo from OpenAI. Hey, Dom, thanks for joining us today. Isn't this just such a pivotal moment?
I can't believe how, first of all, thanks for being here, and hello, BoxWorks.
Woo!
So excited. Yeah, I can't believe, I think the dust is finally settled, the technology is maturing, and there's a real opportunity to start driving outsized business impact with it.
So, Dom, tell us, how is AI transforming the way enterprises work?
Great question. So we've seen AI transforming in 3 ways. The first is that we've seen lots of companies that are starting to deploy AI to their workforce to try and get outsized productivity gains. The other reason why we see companies deploying it to the workforce is it's also a way to start teaching people some of these AI primitives. So you think about what AI is capable of, it's not just a chatbot. It's actually capable of doing research. It's capable of doing translation. It's capable of doing data analysis. It's capable of doing coding. And so one of the opportunities of getting the technology in the hands of the workforce is not only do you get outsized productivity gains, but the other reason that you can do this is you're starting to teach people what the capabilities are so that later on they can actually determine how to apply it to the way they work and where there's opportunities to use it within your business. The second is we see companies that are doing a lot of work to try and bring this technology to automate significant portions of their operations. And this is where you start talking about agents, which we're really excited that Box has started to bring a framework to the forefront. But the idea here is, can you actually start bringing the AI to be able to make decisions, both with humans in the loop and sometimes without humans in the loop, to be able to automate specific processes that are maybe very high complexity and maybe sometimes very time consuming, but not necessarily something that you want to have a human doing manually. The third is that we see companies that are using this technology to actually refactor and build new types of products and services. And Box, again, is another good example here, where you've added AI as a feature so that people can synthesize insights from a lot of the unstructured data that might be in Box, and then also brought some new innovative tools to the table with this AI agent framework.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dom. What strategies can enterprises employ now as they step into this AI-enabled future, Dom?
Buckle up. No, I think the thing that I would say is generally three things. And you could kind of think of these as sequential. The first is that every enterprise should be taking a look at their own data right now. And so you can't expect these models to have access to bad data and then expect good results. So if you want to go in and do workflow and automation, how well is that workflow actually documented? How good is that process currently optimized to date? If you want to suddenly give these models access to all of your company knowledge stores, how up to date is that information that it's going to be drawing upon and giving insights to employees with? The second thing that we see a lot of companies doing is, once their data is in order, there's a whole framework that they need to then build in order to start scaling AI use cases. So AI is not just products. AI is not just the models. If you're trying to go in and build AI to be scalable across multiple types of use cases, you've got to start thinking about the entire AI stack. And this is emerging and being built right now. But you could think about, it includes things like, how does this AI retrieve information? It includes things like, what is the governance and observability of the AI? It includes things like, what is the way in which the AI is actually going to define things like choices when it comes to an agent orchestration framework? And all of that needs to be coupled together so that you have a scalable platform that you can build on. And the third and final piece is, we've seen lots of organizations that have been really successful starting to build an AI center of excellence, or an AI governing body. And the idea of this is that if you have good data and you've got an architecture that you can build off of, now you need to be able to adjust your compliance and risks to be able to evaluate what are the use cases that are possible with the technology, and then what would it take in order to be able to meet the risk threshold so that you can actually get things in production. And one thing we'd highly recommend is that when you're building that out, that's not just a function that's filled with technologists and your data scientists and your engineers, but it's a function that's working hand in hand with your business users that are closest to the process, and that it's filled with those technologists, but then also the legal and compliance teams.
Thank you, Dom. Before you leave, what are you excited about?
Oh man, if I could say one thing that I'm really excited about, it is agents. So I think that 2025 is going to be the year of agents. We look at agents right now as chatbots, but you can think about, as these models have now become multimodal, we're going to be in an era where agents cannot just go in and use text, but agents can speak, agents can listen, agents can see, they can analyze complex diagrams, agents can use reasoning. And so I think with all these new capabilities and all of these new tools that are going to be available, we're just going to see a huge opportunity for businesses to start deploying these expert agents in all parts of their business to create value.
Thank you, Dom, for those incredible insights. And thank you for joining us today at BoxWorks. Really appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much.
Now, I'd like to welcome Box's CTO, Ben Kuss, on stage to take us into the future.
Thanks, Josh. Hello, I'm Ben Kuss. I'm Chief Technology Officer at Box, and I get to talk about the exciting future of AI. So about almost exactly 2 years ago, we were first introduced to this concept of generative AI and these new AI models. And since then, these AI models have just continued to improve. Today, we're at the level where AI models are arguably on par or even exceeding college-level graduates. I used to be proud that my AP Physics score was higher than the AI models, but that's not true after about 2 months ago. Arguably today, these AI models are actually smarter than most humans. And it's just not just one company that's providing the latest models. We see almost every few weeks or every few months a new model that was released, which is the best model that has ever existed. And we expect this trend to continue. And this is why for Box, we're very proud that we bring to you all of the top AI models. We're the only platform that supports all of these, because we know that for the different use cases you're looking for, if a new model does come out, we're going to give you access to these kinds of models. And so these AI models aren't just getting smarter, they're getting more capable. As Dom was just talking about, we're moving beyond the stage of large language models where they just kind of read your text and into a world where AI can go multimodal, and it can see the videos, it can read the images, it can listen to the audio. And for the enterprise, this is very exciting, because coming soon, for the first time, you're going to be able to do things like ask a question of all the unstructured content you have, and the AI will do as it's been doing, where it reads through the text, but it'll also say things like, hey, that insight you're looking for was at minute 5 of this video about your CEO. Or maybe the graph on page 3 of this PDF is where you're going to get that information from. And so this is an exciting time. But even more exciting is this idea of AI agents and agentic workflows. You'll see a theme here for today on AI agents. And if you haven't actually heard about AI agents before today, I suspect you'll hear a lot more coming soon across the whole industry. But one of the questions you might have is like, OK, well, what is an AI agent, and what is an agentic workflow? What is it different from an AI model? And to really think about this, let's just do a quick thought experiment. So we just talked about the idea. These AI models, arguably 10 PhDs, they're very smart. So imagine you had somebody come to your office, a new employee. They're super smart. They work hard. They're very dedicated. They'll do whatever you say. So how could you make best use of this employee? Well, if you treat them like AI, you'll ask them to sit in a booth. You'll, every once in a while, ask them questions. They can't hit backspace. They have to respond immediately. And whatever you ask them, if they don't give you a perfect answer, you'll probably accuse them of hallucinating, say they're maybe not that smart, and you won't talk to them again. So this is not how people work, especially if you're doing a complex workflow. Like, people say things like, I need to get back to you. Here's a draft, let's review it. Maybe like, is this what you're looking for? Or what did you mean when you said that? And then also working on a team with roles and responsibilities. And this is how complex work gets done. And so the question is, what if we gave these AI models these same set of capabilities? And this is this idea that leads us through moving from the world of AI assistants, these generic chatbots, super capable, but more just mostly text-oriented, mostly chat-oriented, to a world where we have AI agents. And these are more customizable. They have access to your data. They have goals and instructions that you help give to them. And then using these AI agents together in an agentic workflow, working with you and with the other agents. And this is where you start to see more autonomous work being done, more complex work being done. And this is an exciting part of the future. So let's talk through an example. So one of our customers, an insurance company, and so probably all of us have been in car accidents. And so the state-of-the-art AI can take a picture like this, not a very good picture. And if you ask it, like, help describe the damage, within just a couple seconds, it'll come back and I think do a pretty good job. The front bumper needs to be replaced, the headlight, the fender, the hood, and it gives you an estimate. It kind of read the whole internet, so it has a gist of these kinds of things. And so you look at that and you're like, well, this is pretty good, like, impressive technology. But if your job is to give your client a repair estimate, then you still have a lot of work to do. This is helpful, but not really something that you would actually use. But imagine if instead of just asking for 3 seconds, you actually give your AI agents 2 minutes, and you have multiple AI agents with multiple responsibilities. One will assess the damage. One will go look up the actual, like, for that car, for the area you're in, how much does this actually cost? Another one will make sure that it's actually a good estimate, it's consistent, it's like other estimates. And you can not only have them give you this much more precise answer, but they can even prepare the repair estimate, so that you could then double check it and send it to your client. So this is an example of an agentic workflow. And the idea is that we can use AI and these agents to be able to accelerate a lot of everyday processes that we have within the enterprise. So that example you just saw was from the insurance industry, but you can imagine cross-industry, cross-enterprise, there's a lot of examples. I'll throw a few more out. Loan origination. You need a loan, and there's a period of time it takes for them to double-check all your stuff that you gave them, all the paperwork, make sure everything's in order. Drug approval process. You get these reams of technical data about all this complex process that you just went through, and you need to put it into a form that's available to answer all the regulators' questions. And just on, from big and small different workflows within your organization. AI agents can help you accelerate these, and we're talking to customers who have sometimes dozens, sometimes hundreds of these use cases. And this is an exciting future. But this isn't just about Box and Box having AI agents. We are the content cloud, and so we are here to give you all of the greatest AI agents for your content. That's what we do, we specialize in. But at some point, you want to also reference some of your CRM data or other platforms that you have in your organizations. So this is why we've announced at Agentforce the idea of being able to have the AI agents from something like Salesforce actually talk to the Box AI agents so that you can get the best of both the structured and unstructured world and be able to have trusted and safe AI on your content from all of your trusted platforms. And we are dedicated to the idea of, for all of our partners, being able to work in an agentic ecosystem so that you can get the best of all worlds. So the big question is, what if you gave all of your employees not just an AI assistant, but actually a whole team of AI agents that are ready to do work for them? And I'm going to leave you with 3 predictions. The first is AI agents are going to continue to evolve. As smart as they are today, they're going to be kind of considered simple and not that great compared to what you're going to experience in the future. And at Box, we'll be able to bring you all these models. The second is that these AI agents are going to become standardized as part of the enterprise. I don't know if you thought it was a little weird as I'm talking about working with AI agents, maybe a little creepy or scary, but it's going to become common for you to work with these because they are an avenue to such efficiency. And the third is that companies that start today with the current capabilities of the AI agents are going to be the ones that are the best in place to be able to take advantage of these newer capabilities that are coming soon. So whatever the future takes, though, we will continue to evolve our AI platform to give you the capabilities that you need to take advantage of these exciting technology innovations. And with that, let's see how this all comes together in this video. Thanks, everyone.
90% of your data is unstructured, and it's a gold mine of untapped value. With the power of Gen AI, your enterprise can harness that potential. To make this vision a reality, you need content management with intelligence from a trusted partner who can keep up with innovation, plus your evolving business and security needs. That's why we built Box AI, empowering you to gather insights quickly across all of your unstructured content. Save countless hours by automating everyday workflows. Speed up classification with tools that do the job for you. And soon, gather AI insights across all kinds of file types. Even assign Box AI agents to manage your most complex processes. You know, the ones that keep you up at night. Use any supported best-of-breed AI model you'd like to apply intelligence across all your company content and bridge collaboration across every department. Work with confidence, knowing Box takes a safe and secure approach to AI, processing only the most relevant data based on your content permissions. Future-proof your AI strategy with a purpose-built platform for managing, securing, and getting the most from your valuable content.
Please welcome Rand Wacker, Vice President of Product Management.
All right, BoxWorks, thank you all for being here. Really great to talk today. I wanted to bring a bunch of friends on stage, and we're going to cover everything that we're doing in the world of workflow, content management, and helping your businesses run better. As we've been talking about, your organization runs on content. It's all the documents that contain the most important pieces of data in your organization. And very often, those documents are part of a process, they're part of a workflow, they're used amongst all your teams. But the challenge is today, most content workflows are very manual. You have people that are sending data back and forth. You have teams that are trying to collaborate, sometimes working with people outside the organization, got to go into a whole bunch of different systems, and inevitably, things get lost, processes get stalled, business slows down overall. There have been a lot of attempts to solve this in the past, other technologies and tools, things like traditional ECM or enterprise content management systems. These are tools that were designed specifically for documents and processes, but they were built a long time ago in a world before a cloud-native environment existed. They were designed for primarily interfaces that weren't mobile and user-friendly, and they definitely were not created for this AI-ready world that we're in today. Another option has been a lot of point solutions, and now we see customers that are riddled with a bunch of different individual tools that have to be stitched together and continue some of this manual content process issue across a bunch of different departments in their organization. So we've been working on how do we reinvent these content-centric workflows for the modern workplace. The data is already in Box, the users are already in Box. So what can we do to really help facilitate that? So for a while, we've been working on this problem using Box Relay and Box Sign. Relay helps automate those end-to-end workflows to get your teams moving documents through the process a little more quickly. And Box Sign brings unlimited signatures to all of your documents within Box. Really valuable tools that have had a lot of adoption with our customers. Today, though, we're going to talk about a few new pieces. The first is Box AI for metadata. This is a huge advantage when it comes to speeding up and getting the most important information out of your documents. The second is Box Forms and Box DocGen. These are new pieces of Relay that will help you kick off business processes, create some of those new templates for all the documents that are running through that process, and really speed things up. So I want to kick it off and bring Catherine Powell up to stage, who's going to talk about what we're doing with regards to AI and metadata.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rand, and thank you so much to all of you for coming and joining us today. So Rand was talking about how we have content-powered workflows all over our business, which is great, but we need a lot to come together to make that happen. We need humans, we need systems, we need content, and we need the workflows to make it all happen. So what ties that all together? What gives us the context on that content? Well, metadata. Has anyone here heard the word metadata before? Yes, awesome. So metadata is the context of files. It could be something that is in the file itself that comes directly out, like say a contract start date. Or it could be something that comes from, say, AI processing the file. This is a confidential file, etc. Or it could be something that's not in the content itself at all. Perhaps, for example, it is the status in a workflow. This is draft, this is approved, etc. We use all of this to make content more accessible for searching, for workflows, and ultimately to help us drive the right business decisions. But there's a problem. As you go from doing this on hundreds and thousands of documents to millions and billions of documents, the process gets cumbersome. We use expensive techniques that have specific training that we have to repeat for every type of file we have. Or we're asking people who are uploading this to fill out forms, and I know that I am not great at filling out forms, for example. And it just doesn't respond as things change. But with AI and with Box, you can now apply structure to unstructured metadata at scale. And this is all changing with something that we are calling Box AI for metadata. We're going to help you intelligently and automatically extract metadata from content. Like you saw before, we are using metadata to put context on the content. And so what we're doing is we are pulling it out using AI to get that needle out of the haystack so we can do it more efficiently instead of a user having to do it. This metadata we can then use to provide insights for people to make good business decisions. For example, if I have a bunch of NDAs that are all expiring, I can extract their expiration date and quickly and easily enable a project manager to sort and filter agreements by those dates so that I can get them renewed on time and I don't have any of those hiccups that interrupt my business continuity. Alternatively, I might use it to help me in a workflow. So for example, if I have a bunch of invoices and that invoice amount exceeds, say, $1.5 million, I can know that I need to route it to the CFO versus to the GM for anything under $1.5 million, all thanks to that context that I have extracted from the document. And now, with an obligatory Star Trek reference, we can go where no technology has ever gone before. Because unlike traditional technologies that look at the text itself, AI allows us to understand the semantics of the content, which gives us much, much richer real-world context. So let's take a look, shall we? I have a 20-page project report that my project consultant recently wrote for me. I'm sure it's wonderful, but I have a lot of these. So let's use AI to help me read it. And Box AI has synthesized the content, and it's gotten all of the numbers out of there, yes. But it has also taken that project feedback and really read it and understood that this is positive feedback, not negative feedback. At the very least, this is pointing me toward what do I need to pay more attention to? Where do I need to call a client because maybe I might have a little more depth to dig into, versus where am I calling a client expecting a happy conversation? Now, so far, we've talked about text, but not everything is text. Right? Our friends in marketing who are maybe taking us through a rebranding, spoiler alert, Box is not rebranding, this is just an example. They need to retire all of those outdated assets, and traditionally they're going to spend weeks working through everything and going, is this the old one or is this the new one? With Box AI, we will soon be able to do that same metadata extraction on images and on spreadsheets. So I can pull out and use AI to tell me, what do I need to go look at? What's old? What needs updating? And soon we will also have audio and video AI-based metadata extraction. So if you remember one thing, remember this. Metadata is the fuel that propels your business process. And AI-powered metadata extraction is what makes your content workflows possible. It's pretty powerful stuff. So next, to dig into more details of what else we need to make workflows go, I'd like to bring up my colleague Nirmal Ganesh to the stage.
Thank you so much, Catherine. And it's so great to be here at BoxWorks and so glad to see so many technologists under one roof. I think we all will agree that there is no such thing as too much technology, but there is something to be said about having too many point solutions in your tech stack, often slowing things down. For example, many of you all have a point tool for every step in the workflow. One for capturing information, one for generating documents, one for e-signatures, and so on. And stitching these tools together to create the workflows that your business demands is like duct taping your car engine just to keep it running. Ultimately, a business process runs only as fast as the automation engine that powers it. And duct tapes on your transmission will only take you so far. That's why today, I am incredibly excited to announce 2 new content automation capabilities built natively on Box. Introducing Box Forms and Box DocGen. Yeah! Love it. With Box Forms, you can collect information and initiate your business process, such as onboarding your vendors, your partners, processing requests, driving review submission of your applications, all of that natively on Box. And with Box DocGen, you can generate custom documents on the fly. So think of all your NDAs, invoices, proposals, report statements, all of that right on Box. Let's now look at Box Forms in detail, which enables your teams to generate, design, publish professional-looking mobile and web forms in a matter of seconds. With an intuitive drag-and-drop builder, out-of-the-box form fields, conditional logic, customizable branding options, you can easily lay out the form for your use case effortlessly. Respondents also can submit files along with metadata as a part of your submission. Now let's look at how Box Forms is natively integrated with Box Relay to automate processing of every single form submission. As you can see, there is a form submission as a trigger in Box Relay, which collects information and files from your form submission to a variety of downstream relay actions, including human review approval, as well as automated steps. For example, you can easily take information from your forms to generate a document. You can send for review approval of your form submission. You can move files from one folder to another, and a lot more. The possibilities are endless. With Box Doc Gen, you can create dynamic, personalized documents on the go. Feed it a template, map your data sources, and boom, comes professional-looking, personalized documents in the format of your choice, right on Box, ready for your next step in the workflow. It's as simple as that. No exporting, no importing, no typos, and more importantly, no headaches. Very similar to Box Forms, Box Doc Gen is also natively integrated with Box Relay, which means your teams can dynamically generate documents without a single line of code. As you can see, there is a generate document as an outcome in Box Relay, which connects information to your placeholder tags in the DocGen template. For example, you can use information collected from your Box Forms to generate your NDA. You can use customer information from your Box metadata to generate an invoice. That's not it. We've also introduced DocGen to our Box for Salesforce integration so that you can directly generate documents from Salesforce. Yes, that's right. You can use customer information from your Salesforce record to directly plug in to generate your document and send for signatures in one go. Isn't that very exciting? Yeah. Box Forms and Box Doc Gen are designed to be game changers. Along with Box Relay and Sign, you can automate your mission-critical content workflows right on Box. As exciting as that is, we've probably saved the best for the last. For that, let me invite back Rand on stage to walk us through our final breakthrough announcements on workflows.
Awesome. Thanks, Nirmal. So this is all really exciting. We've been working a long time to add a lot of pieces to the portfolio to help you solve all these problems together. But there's something that we feel is missing in the middle. And this comes from a ton of conversations that we've had with customers where they've said, we have all of these critical documents, all these critical processes, most of which are still done very manually. They're the types of systems and tools where they're very bespoke to the organization. And they usually can't find a specialized tool, or it's not worth implementing a massive, complex system to run all these automatically. And so they've been talking to Box, and they've been saying, how can Box help? We already have all of our documents in Box. We already have our users that love using Box. What can Box do to help us solve the problems of the automation, close up a lot of the gaps, and make sure that all our most important content is organized and managed in the right way? So we stepped back and thought about what could we do in the world of content-centric business apps. How could we create something where if you imagine a tool that could be used to build new applications in hours as opposed to weeks, something where you can actually have the business process owners build these systems as opposed to having to bring in specialized developers, and especially something that could really leverage the best AI technologies that are out there today. So a lot of interesting challenges and a great opportunity at this time with AI. So today, we're incredibly excited to announce a new capability on Box called Box Apps. This is an intelligent, no-code builder that's going to help build apps for powering your business teams. So Box Apps fits in this whole portfolio, and it lets you actually tie all these things together, take your content within Box, use a lot of the metadata, everything here is built on the metadata, and create new processes for the teams that are doing this important work. It brings together the content, the metadata, the workflow, and the users, and lets you create tools for all the different departments that'll help your teams work better in all of the different ways they need to. It starts with a new builder. This is a drag and drop tool for creating dashboards that let you actually see the status of all the processes, understand where all the content is, and tie in different workflows. Everything here is based on metadata. You get an understanding of all the documents and where they are in the process, what's coming up for renewal, what's waiting for review, being able to drill in immediately and see everything right where you need it. We've created a brand new metadata-based view of Box where you can actually filter and sort, and you can create something that's tailored for every persona so they get the right information right when they need it. The AI extraction is built right in. So now you're able to actually speed these processes up. So instead of having users have to manually go in, read and fill out these different fields, one click of a button pulls this information out and populates everything that you need. Huge time saver for everyone. And of course, all this can also manage metadata at scale. So you can take all these different documents, you can update the fields that you need to, and make sure that everything is organized and everything is maintained in the right way. We want to keep everything accurate, consistent, and effective. Then the last piece is adding in all of the new forms and workflow capabilities. You can actually kick off one of these processes straight from an app. You can then have that go into a workflow. You can track those documents across that entire process. And then at the end, everything is organized and structured internally. So really, really exciting capabilities, and we are thrilled to show them to you for what we can do. You can actually build new applications across all kinds of different departments. You can have the HR team maintain all of their policies and update everything, make sure that the most current data is always available. They can onboard employees. They can actually manage those records for the long run so that you're maintaining all of your important compliance rules. Sales teams can speed up the agreement process, making sure that all of your contracts and all of your sales are flowing smoothly. They can onboard clients more quickly. They can keep track of all the most important documents that are related to every project for every client that's out there. The operations teams can improve their facilities management, leases, maintenance records, everything that goes into your physical plant, and then building process manuals in all of the operations and standard procedures for running your manufacturing. Marketing teams can organize their digital assets, pull the latest and greatest, make sure to retire anything old, and make sure that you're managing all of your engagements across all of your different agencies. And legal teams can organize and manage the life cycle of a contract, making sure that all of the cases and all of the updates are made in time. We can even alert you if something's coming up for renewal and you need to kick off that process. So there's a lot of great capabilities that we have here. We're really excited about what we can put together. And to show it all to you, I wanted to invite Julia Benavenia to the stage, who's going to give you a great demo. Julia?
Thank you, Rand. So you've learned about AI metadata extraction, forms, DocGen, and Box apps. Now let's see how all of them come together to manage your content-centric workflows. So for this demo, I'll be playing a member of the business operations team at Increo. Oh, we've already updated my title. Well, that was quick. In my new role, I'm in charge of onboarding and offboarding consultants for different projects. I usually start my day in the project management app that I created with Box Apps to monitor all consultant-related documents. The most important being the statement of work, which outlines the project's scope, start, and end dates. In my app, I added a couple of different ways to view and find the statements of work stored in my Box account, including this one that shows me which SOWs are ending in the next 30 days. I completely customized this view, choosing column headers that give me the information I need about each consultant at a glance, and filters that allow me to quickly find the SOW that I'm looking for. There are quite a few documents here, so I'm going to sort by date so I can prioritize the SOWs that are ending first. Oh, also, I just heard that these 3 projects in the HR department need an extension due to the upcoming holiday season. I have a column in my dashboard to track if a project extension is requested. I can update that extension field for each line item directly from this view or in bulk by filtering down to all projects in the HR department, selecting all, and updating the extension requested field for all 3. Now, Emily's SOW ends next week, and unfortunately, it looks like she didn't get good feedback and hasn't been recommended for rehire. So I'll need to onboard a new consultant to staff this now extended project. I want to check in with the project lead to see if he has anyone in mind to replace her. Oh, actually, the project lead is one step ahead of me and has already tagged me requesting that I hire Jose. Now, Creo hasn't done work with Jose in the past, so first he'll need to sign an NDA. This send NDA process is one that I use often, so I've linked a workflow on my dashboard to generate a custom NDA for Jose and send it to him for signature. The send NDA process starts with a Box form, so I'll fill out the consultant's name and email. Jose is a first-time hire, so I'll select yes. And you'll notice this form has some logic built in, so by selecting yes, an additional field pops up asking for his company name. So I'll complete the form, click submit, and Box DocGen will start creating Jose's custom NDA in the background, and will hand it off automatically to Box Sign to send for e-signature. Let's look at the NDA's progress with this NDA pending dynamic view that I created. Oh, look, Box has already generated the custom NDA for Jose. Creating and sending NDAs used to be a really painful process at Creo. I had to manually copy and paste the consultant's information into their NDA, and since every state has slightly different NDA laws, I had to remember to change the template based on the state. It was a time-consuming and error-prone process. Box DocGen has made NDA creation so much easier. All of Jose's information automatically populates in the NDA. Plus, based on the state selected, it can be set up so the correct state-specific language is added to the NDA. Since I selected California, his NDA includes the California language. But if I had selected Nevada, the Nevada information would be pulled in. All the fields in the NDA have been added to the document's metadata. This will make it much easier to search and find this NDA in the future. It looks like there are a couple metadata fields that haven't been filled out yet. Not a problem. I'll use Box AI metadata extraction to automatically fill these fields in. So I'll use it to fill in that document type and template version field automatically, saving me from doing it manually. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the NDA was automatically sent for signature with Box Sign. I can use my NDA signed view to monitor its completion. Oh, looks like Jose has already signed his NDA. So finally, that NDA signing automatically triggers the next step in Jose's onboarding, kicking off a relay workflow to create a statement of work template for him. So as you saw, I was able to find the tasks that required immediate attention and take action on them with Box Apps. When I needed to hire a new consultant, I initiated the workflow right from my dashboard with Box Forms and auto-generated a custom NDA on the fly with DocGen, which got automatically sent out for signature via Box Sign. And metadata extracted by Box AI ensured that all documents were tagged accurately, so I can continue using Box Apps to stay on top of my work. And the best part, I managed the entire process in Box without relying on IT or needing to cobble together multiple disparate SaaS apps. I was able to get all my work done from one convenient tool. And I didn't have to worry about my sensitive content because it stayed in Box the entire time. Back over to you, Rand.
Okay. So as you can see, Box is really helping You address your manual content-centric business processes. There's a lot of tools in the portfolio, and we're bringing all that together. Box Apps is a new solution that fits in between the wonderful native experiences of Box Web, desktop, and mobile, and then the really robust capabilities of our platform APIs to build very customized interfaces into Box. So this is all based on metadata. It's all tied into your users and your content, and it brings all these workflows together. So we're really excited, but we wanted to hear from some customers. And so I wanted to bring on stage Philip Irby from AMH, who's going to talk a little bit about his experience with Box and what they're planning to do it. Philip? It's great to see you, and would love to hear some of your background. You've worked with Box for a while, so please tell us what you're doing and some of the journey so far.
Thanks, Rand. It's great to be here. So as you said, I started with Box back in 2011 at Arthur J. Gallagher, 2014 with Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, and now 2019 with AMH. AMH is a property management company. We have about 60,000 single-family rental homes. And so there is no single family rental home management system. So I was brought in to build one from scratch. And walking in the door, I knew we had tons of unstructured data. We needed to get control of that. And we needed to build a custom platform. So obviously, with my history, I understood Box's commitment to the API side, plus the UI. Now with today, with Box Apps, it's going to grow exponentially. But what we've did with Box, as of about 6 months ago, we are completely digital. No data centers. All unstructured data is inside Box. And so we're positioned to drive into this new world.
That's awesome. You guys have done a great transformation overall. And you've seen a lot today. You've given us a lot of feedback in the past. Hopefully you've seen some stuff that excites you with what we've announced today. Could you give us some ideas of how you think you might use this?
Yeah. So DocGen, we're already piloting in the beta. We signed 60,000 leases a year, and so we're going to generate our leases leveraging BoxGen and the APIs so that we could create a custom interface for our customers. We're also we're members of 10,000 HOAs. If you thought your HOA was bad, we have 10,000 of them. So, which means we have 200,000 documents that are in every format possible. And so we're using Box AI metadata to pull metadata out of those documents, create structured experience. And also, we're building our own agentic architecture within the platform to leverage the Box agents plus any other agents that are out there so that our customers could interrogate their HOA or their lease and they don't want to read this 50-page document, so they could do that just using the agentic architecture.
Yeah, that's really impressive. The AI piece, I think, is going to speed things up for people in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
So looking forward, is there anything that you're excited about for the future and any way that we can help you out?
Well, like I said, I'm really excited about the Box Apps capability because, as I said, we build a custom interface for our customers so that it is purpose-built for exactly what they do. But having all the internal employees on the inside leveraging the Box Web, now Box Apps, this will be where we go to do the quick prototyping and building of applications.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Philip. Big round of applause. Appreciate it. Thank you. So I love talking to customers and hearing about what they're doing. And across the marketing, sales, engineering departments, operations, everyone can take advantage of building these apps that are on top of the Box platform, where you get all the security, all the compliance, all the other capabilities of the system built in. But there's many other ways to access your data in Box. And one of the most important is our integration with other business applications. So we have more than 1,500 different integrations into the most popular tools that people use every day. And one of the most popular is our integration with Salesforce. This allows people to bring together the content with Box, with all of their CRM within Salesforce, and of course, we're both working on a lot of AI capabilities. So to talk about this, I'd like to bring Tyler Carlson on board, who's the president of BD at Salesforce right now. Great.
Hey, Rand.
Great to meet you. Thank you for coming. We've had a long partnership. we work with a bunch of different customers, like Fundwell, we heard about today, that's using AI to extract metadata and kick off their processes. How are you guys thinking about AI, and how do we work together on that?
So I think you heard earlier from Ben talking about agentic workflows, and what we're seeing is all of our customers are racing to figure out how to build an agentic layer for their business and become an agent-first company, which is why we announced our agent platform, Agentforce, at Dreamforce in September. It is a platform that enables companies to build and customize those AI agents for Salesforce. It's built natively into the Salesforce platform across all our sales service, marketing, even Slack. But we know we can't do that alone. Agents are only going to be as powerful as the data and the actions they have available to them, which is why we're super excited to be partnering with Box to bring their agents and agent skills to the Agentforce platform. This is going to unlock the power of all the structured data in Salesforce, along with all that rich unstructured file and content in Box, to power agentic workflows across both platforms. So we're really, really excited about this.
Yeah, and we have a lot of customers that are excited as well. We've been talking to a number of them that bring this together, like the DC Office of the Attorney General that's using this for managing child support services and various other pieces. What are some of the other integrations that people have used between Box and Salesforce that really helps them speed up?
So I think these integrations are going to be a game changer for customers. I think with the APIs you're releasing, the agent platform you're releasing, there's a ton of opportunity for customers to use this. Now with agents with secure access to this data or the ability to extract data from content in Box, you can think of powering use cases like answering questions for an employee or a customer service rep, or even powering new tasks and automations with DocGen and eSign that these agents can now take action with those skills.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
Yeah, exactly. So really exciting times, bringing together the best of these tools, helping you put everything, your best foot forward for all of your customers. Tyler, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Really great to have you at BoxWorks.
Awesome. Thank you.
So we've talked about a lot. We really hope you're as excited as we are for everything that's going on in this world. And we're going to talk about security next, but before that, we've got a great new video.
Mission-critical workflows, from closing sales deals to onboarding new talent, power every business. But many of these workflows are done manually and across different tools, slowing down key decisions, like whether to renew contracts and when to make job offers. With the right technology, teams across your organization can navigate these challenges correctly and on time, every time, and leave the rest to automation. The all-new Box Apps lets you empower your people to create bespoke, no-code applications and dashboards powered by metadata, so everyone can easily access what they need and quickly find information. For example, with the Contracts app, users get a clear view of projects that need attention, like expiring agreements. See key information that's missing, like contract dates and amounts? Box AI can enrich your documents in one click. Have a contract that needs renewal? Automate it. Watch as Box Relay seamlessly kicks off the process with the all-new Box Forms. Relay then hands the workflow off to Box DocGen, also brand new, and a new contract gets generated in seconds. Next, Relay routes the file to Box Sign, so you get all the signatures you need, and voila, a completed renewal lands back in your dashboard. So close those deals, fast-track your invoices, onboard that new talent, and get work flowing with AI-powered apps and automation that your teams will love. The possibilities are infinite.
Please welcome Manoj Esnani, Vice President of Product Management, Security, and Compliance.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here, and thanks to everyone who's listening online. Now, you just heard all the ways we are helping enterprises drive productivity with workflow automation and enterprise-grade AI tools. But intelligent content management also needs to be secure content management, which is why we believe security and compliance is a critical pillar in our ICM approach. And that's for a good reason. We all know the bad actors are now going to rest, and neither should we. We see headlines. We see headlines about crippling ransomware attacks. We see headlines around millions of accounts being leaked with PII. And we see headlines about lax security controls leading to severe fines to organizations. And add in the shifting regulatory landscape, the environment only gets more and more complex and hard to deal with. Which is why we are committed to building frictionless security and compliance controls into every stage of your content lifecycle. From the moment a file is uploaded or content is created to the day it's disposed of. But a good security and governance practices start with asking the right questions. Questions like, how much content do I have? How risky is that content? Who has access to it? How should I govern it? And we at Box give you the solutions to answer these questions and help you deal with the challenge of security and compliance. Rooted in the NIST cybersecurity framework, we have solutions ranging from automated classification to intelligent anomaly detection to sophisticated retention disposition policies. In the next few minutes, I'm actually going to double-click on all the new innovations we're delivering in all these areas. Let's start with classification. Now, classification, as we all know, is a fundamental building block to good content security. And over the past few years, we made tremendous strides in automatically classifying this content. And we do this at scale, at such scale that the customers today classify content that they just wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And then you can add on security controls that leverage these classification labels, controls such as access policies, watermarking, or retention policies, which helps save our customers significant time and effort. Just in the past year alone, Box Shield has auto-classified more than 1 billion files. That's billion with a B. That's a ton of time saved for our customers. Now, as we look to the future, we have an opportunity to take the next giant leap in classifying this content. We can get a much better and deeper understanding of the content itself. Now we can tell a difference between a pre-release movie script versus a movie which has already been in theaters and a script for that movie, and apply the appropriate sensitivity labels to it. And these labels will still carry the same security controls that you're actually used to. Now, we'll share more of our vision around how AI-powered security is going to change content security at Box and help you further. So stay tuned. Now, classification alone doesn't solve for all the challenges. Ransomware, as we all know, remains one of the greatest threats to the organizations, and the damage can be severe. To help our customers detect and mitigate these ransomware attacks, we're launching an end-to-end ransomware protection solution. And this solution is made up of 3 critical pillars. The first is the ransomware activity detection piece. The second is the automated response actions to this activity. And third is the intelligent recovery piece. This minimizes business disruption as well as stops any infected content from proliferating within your organization. And today, I'm thrilled to announce the first part of it, which is the intelligent content recovery. With content recovery, admins can identify files that have been impacted by the ransomware activity and precisely restore them. And they can do that at scale. They can recover hundreds of thousands of files in a matter of minutes, saving significant time and effort. With this, we put the power in your hands to recover from a ransomware attack with minimal organizational damage. Now, to see what ransomware recovery looks like in action, let me invite Christy on stage.
Thanks, Manoj. Yes. Today, we're going to run through a quick look at how an organization can easily recover content from Box. To start, we will initiate the recovery process by clicking Recover Content here. Let's search for Jessica's activity, then select the date range to recover. We have some options and can adjust the window later in the process, but to begin, we will select this custom range and click Search. As you can see, content recovery charts both the file modification activities and any trash events for the time frame. We see a spike in file modification activities here, showing the ransomware event. And then down below, we can see a list of the affected files in our selected date range. There are several filter options, but for now, we'll restore it all by clicking Recover Files. Here, we get a confirmation screen showing the details of the recovery action. We click Recover, and done. You'll receive an email when the recovery process is complete. Now, Box customers are able to quickly and easily recover from the most severe content disasters. Back to you, Manoj.
Awesome. Simple and easy. Now, we know content security is only one part of the equation. The speed at which the content is growing and the speed of collaborations is only exponential, which leads to content sprawl. And this content sprawl makes managing and governing that content an extreme challenge. To simplify content management and address this challenge of content sprawl, I'm really excited to announce the upcoming launch of new Content Manager. With Content Manager, admins can now search across the entirety of your organization's content. They can identify content by its owner, classification, or many other parameters. And they can also take bulk actions such as changing permissions or changing owners itself. Now, continuing down this thread of content sprawl, we all know organizations have a ton of content which is not active anymore, but they still have to keep it around for legal or compliance purposes. Which is why more than 80% of the organizations are looking towards some sort of a content archival solution or have some content archival solution in place. However, they still struggle to adequately retain and preserve that content in a compliant way. Why is that? Because the current solutions that exist, they don't meet customer needs. They're either separated from the content itself or are bolted on as a third-party solution. Or they're limited in terms of how much content can be archived and how much content can actually be restored. Or they're just too expensive, either added on as a premium offering or they charge by volume. To precisely solve these challenges, I'm delighted to announce the upcoming launch of Box Archive, our new content archival solution. With Box Archive, you can actually sequester content from circulation that's no longer active and preserve it in its final state. You can also search this content and restore it if you need to. And it helps you with the content sprawl challenge that I've been talking about. And it's actually built into the same platform that you trust your most critical content with. It ensures seamless integration with your ongoing business practices. And guess what? There's no limit to how much content you can archive or how much content you can restore. So you can manage all the content you want within your organization. In summary, Box Archive gives you long-term content management, which you can do in a compliant way and meet any legal obligations that you might have. And in future, Box AI may even be able to identify archive-ready content and automate the archival process itself, further streamlining your governance process. Let me hand it back to Christy, who's going to show us what Box Archive looks like in action.
To get started with Box Archive, let's begin by creating our first archive. Here, you see a few of our existing archives, but let's create a new one. We will name the archive Contracts and click Create. Now that we do have our archive, let's add in some content. We can select our new archive and click to add files and folders. Let's search for a Contracts folder, and then we can select the content that we wish to add. We can add files or folders or a mix of both to your archive. Archiving this content will remove all collaborators and freeze the content in its existing state until it's restored or disposed of. We click Add, Confirm, and it's added. You can see the new content here in our Contracts archive. If we do want to restore any of the content, it's really as simple as selecting the item and clicking Restore. Here, we can see what we are restoring and where it will live. We can also change the content destination here if desired. But as it is, we click Restore, and the content is back in circulation. It is as easy as that. Box Archive enables our customers to preserve their critical content in a compliant manner, minimizing business friction. Really exciting stuff, Manoj.
Amazing, yeah, so easy and so simple to use. Thank you, Christy, appreciate it. As you can see, Box is continuing to invest in innovations in security and governance products aimed across the entire content security and governance lifecycle. Because we can't afford to miss any stage in this life cycle. We all know bad actors are going to exploit that weakness. And we will continue to develop and deliver new intelligent solutions to keep your most critical content secure. Now, to close this section out, I'd love to welcome Joe McCaffrey, Chief Information Security Officer of Untitled Industries, on stage. We're going to talk about how they think about the content security lifecycle and how Box is helping them. So, Joe, welcome on stage. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. First of all, happy Veterans Day. Thanks for your service.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
To start off, Joe, why don't you tell the audience about what your background is, what you do at Anduril, and about Anduril itself?
Yeah, Joe McCaffrey. I'm the Chief Information Security Officer at Anduril Industries. Anduril is a defense tech startup. So our goal is to be the next generation defense contractor. We believe that the way in which technology is implemented in defense and government is fundamentally broken. And we think that there's two primary reasons for that. The first of which is the maybe non-obvious, which is the cost-plus model. The cost-plus model is the contracting model that the Defense Department uses and is the reason that we have the world's largest defense budget, at 4x larger than our competitors, and we don't get 4x the capability. And so long short, we believe that our taxpayers aren't getting what they pay for, and we need to fix that. And I think once we shift away from that cost-plus model, we'll be able to deploy systems that are more relevant to the future of defense, systems that are smaller, unmanned, less expensive, and because they're unmanned and less expensive, you can deploy them in much higher quantities and use software to tie them together to deliver the effects that you're looking for. Finally, we have to do that under the backdrop of a highly regulated environment and what I would call a complicated cybersecurity situation where you have adversaries and very sophisticated folks that are well-resourced attempting to get after our information and are very interested in what we're doing.
Yeah, awesome, and all very, very important stuff. Joe, you mentioned that you're a highly regulated, working in a highly regulated industry. I'd love to hear about your perspective on how you think about content security and governance lifecycle, the challenges you face, and how Box is helping you.
Yeah, so we have a very complicated infrastructure. We have hundreds of applications where we're generating data. We leverage the 4 major cloud service providers. We have 4 supported operating systems. And so we're generating data from everywhere, and we need to figure out how do we, in addition to the complicated infrastructure, we have also complicated regulations. We are a global company. We have offices in the UK and in Australia along with the US, and so there's export control data that we have to consider. There's controlled unclassified information data that we have to consider. So not only do we have to worry about the external threats, but we also have to worry about the segregating data such that folks that can't have access to it don't have access to it. Box lends itself very well to this capability with a bunch of the tools that you guys already have in place.
Awesome. We're glad that we are being of help here. Just before I let you go, Joe, one last question. We made a bunch of announcements in this area. Your favorite feature and why?
Current favorite feature is Box Shield. It makes my job a lot easier from a security standpoint. I'm very excited where you guys are going with AI models and agents and being able to query the data that we have in a bunch of disparate sources.
Awesome. Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time and your insights.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's it for me now. Let's watch a quick video of all the new announcements that we are making today. Thank you so much.
Shifting compliance regulations, new strains of malware, evolving online threats. One misstep with your content, and you could be counting the minutes to catastrophe. But what if you could turn back time? Or better yet, manage your content around the clock. Stop data leaks before they start. We'll let you in on a little secret. With intelligent content management from Box, you can. Here's how. For the first time, with our brand new Box Archive, you can preserve, secure, and retain content to meet long-term retention requirements and keep your content in the right hands. Plus, with an easy way to search and restore content, you meet compliance requirements and reduce risk. Next, our revamped Content Manager has upgraded your admin search experience so you can find content faster and better manage it. And what if content accidentally gets deleted? Or files are compromised by ransomware? Our new content recovery tool lets you restore years of company work in just hours. When you're working with Box, Box is working for you around the clock. So now's the time to secure what matters.
Please welcome Keithan Couture, Vice President of Product Management.
All right. How's everyone doing? Those were some great highlights. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about the developer platform and how you can use our APIs to create custom workflows at scale. So the Box developer platform is an extension of our entire product portfolio. And we have an API-first approach, which means that we make it easy for our developers and our customers to extend and customize Box. The developer platform is also built on top of our Content Cloud infrastructure. And what that means is developers benefit from our global scale, efficiency, security, and compliance that are a core part of our Box web app. Global scale and performance is super critical when it comes to modernizing workflows, especially modernizing legacy systems with ICM capabilities. And Box has been hard at work at improving this. And I have some very important facts to share with you. Today, we support 1 gigabit per second upload and download speeds, 500 GB file support, up to 1 billion files stored in a single folder, and 500 API calls a second for developer integrations. Yeah, those are huge numbers. And there have been big asks from you. But let me just restate. 500 API calls per second is a 20x improvement to what we offer today. So this has been an ask from you, especially as you look to create high-performant, really complex, large-scale integrations. And we are so happy to deliver it for you. So how do developers use our platform today? We actually see 4 main usage patterns with our platform. Number 1, custom integrations where you store content on Box. Automations to avoid sort of manual tasks and repetitive tasks. Number 3, where you help front office workers collaborate more effectively. And last is custom integrations where you actually use our portal technology to create experiences so you can collaborate with our customers, suppliers, vendors, and so on. Today, we have over 100,000 developers who have engaged on our platform, and we see a lot of usage, 1.8 trillion API calls annually, and this number is just growing. So from a product standpoint, what we are focused on is to deliver platform capabilities, APIs, developer experiences, SDKs, everything you as developers need to create applications on our platform very, very easily. And I'm going to be talking about that a little bit now. So the Box APIs are the building blocks of our developer platform. And like I said earlier, we are an API-first company, which means that as our products evolve, and you've seen a ton of product evolution today, right? We make those capabilities available to you as developers immediately. Let me share some platform releases with you. The DocGen API is now available in beta. This capability allows developers to create high-performant, end-to-end document workflows, all for a myriad of use cases, whether it is vendor onboarding, code-to-cache, or many such cases. More importantly, it also helps developers improve operational efficiency, reduce errors when it comes to processing different types of documents, whether it's contracts, NDAs, and so on. So there is a ton of value with this particular capability that will be available to you. I'm very happy to announce that the Box AI API is now generally available for developers as well. Yes, all the capabilities that you heard available for developers today. And we have seen a lot of usage on this already where customers are creating integrations and pushing that to production very quickly, especially because we take care of all the underlying hard stuff associated with AI development. In terms of capabilities that you can use for AI development, we offer a ton of rich capabilities that you can use to create integrations, whether it is include Q&A or summarization capabilities in our integrations. Or you could use our overrides feature and select that particular model from a trusted set of LLM partners. Or you could fine-tune the base prompts or adjust parameters. With all of this, you can create really, really powerful AI integrations on Box. You've heard a lot about the power of metadata in the morning. And I'm happy to announce that this is now available for developers as well. Metadata extract and structured extract endpoints are now available for developers. Yes, developers can now extract metadata and create really powerful, intelligent custom workflows within your integrations as well, within your custom integrations now. We've also added a secure RAG pipeline for AI development on Box. What this means is developers don't need to create and maintain the AI infrastructure themselves. They can get to work very, very quickly. So all these AI developer experiences, AI capabilities that I mentioned, are available for you at our AI developer zone on our developer portal. We've also added a lot of interactive demos. You get access to sample code in multiple languages and for multiple use cases, so you can start development for AI very quickly on Box. To make sure that AI developers everywhere can develop on Box, we make our libraries available on the popular AI frameworks. Today, Box connectors for LangChain, Llama Index, and Pinecone are generally available. And many, many connectors are coming soon, shortly. Box UI Elements is also GA. We've added a lot of enhancements here and many interactive capabilities. UI Elements essentially allows developers to create custom and branded portals by embedding our pre-built UI components, whether it is Content Explorer, Content Preview, Content Picker. But what we've done now is you can now add metadata to that experience and make it even more engaging. This has been a big ask from developers, and we are very, very happy to deliver it to you. Let me show a very quick example where a customer is interacting with a client advisor. By using our UI elements, you can create an engaging experience where the customer can share sensitive documents with the advisor. By adding metadata, you can improve searchability of the documents. The client advisor can extract document details and essentially create an immersive experience. So what I've been talking about today is how you can use the developer platform to create custom workflows as well as immersive experiences. Now I would like to welcome on stage one of our longtime Box platform customers, and they do a ton of great work for veterans as well. Shane Enstad, AVP Product Engineering, USAA, please welcome on stage.
Thank you, Caton. Excited to be here.
Shane, thanks for your time. Do you want to share a little bit about yourself and USAA?
Sure. I've worked for USAA for over 30 years, and I'm responsible for USAA's enterprise workforce digital technologies. I don't know if you know, Caden, but USAA was formed in 1922 by 25 US Army officers. They had a hard time keeping and getting good automobile insurance. So they formed what's called a reciprocal exchange. It's what we are today, but now we've got 13 million members, and our workforce is 70,000 people strong. Box has been with USAA for over 9 years, and we've come to appreciate Box for the collaboration capabilities, the cloud content management capabilities on any device from anywhere, as well as the constant release of new features and capabilities that improve our workforce efficiencies. For these reasons, USAA really appreciates what Box does. Lastly, Box AI recently included as part of our enterprise license agreement. Those savings, we're able to pass those along to our members in the form of reduced insurance premiums. So we're very thankful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you said that you've been using a platform for a while. Do you want to share some quick use cases with that?
Sure. So from a platform experience perspective, without platform capability, our users would be integrating with multiple technologies that don't take advantage of the existing governance controls that are already in place to keep our data secure with Box. We also leverage Box as the single content collaboration platform so that our users find their information faster, and developers and engineers don't have to deal with managing multiple platforms. For example, some of the things that we're doing in that space, one big example that comes to mind is in our auto claim space, we're doing virtual inspections, leveraging Box as the workflow tool and repository of those photos. That's enabling us to be able to get checks issued in a day or two rather than in weeks. And most recently, we've just implemented a new capability that's PCI compliant for workflow and for document repository for our members' documents, leveraging platform as well to integrate with the call center's GUI. So together, we're helping our call center reps to be more efficient, as well as continuing to maintain the safety and security of our data.
That's awesome. And I love the fact that you use technology to solve these problems. You've also been a part of our AI beta. Do you want to share your experiences so far and your plans for the future with AI?
Of course, Kid. We're super excited about that direction. We're committed and actively working to implement Box AI at USA across the enterprise by the end of Q1 of next year. We're also happy to work with our account team and with Box Consulting, who have been instrumental in helping us to navigate our first iteration of AI governance processes at USAA, which seems to change about every other week. So they've helped us keep that together. As well as even Aaron and Ben have taken time to meet with our CTO and with our CDAO, enhancing their understanding and their comfort level with Box AI. From a security and from a compliance perspective as well. We're looking at some use cases that we see in the Box AI arena are, of course, large document summarization. We're a financial services industry, so things like legal documents, medical records that could be 300 pages long, or contracts. We see Box AI as helping to reduce the toil and as well as providing more accurate analysis right after the fact. And then with Box AI API and with agentic workflows, some of our long-running processes when it comes to like loan origination or life insurance underwriting or contract processing, we believe that with Box, we'll be able to shorten some of those that are sometimes 6 weeks long, tremendously down to deliver not just more efficient processes, but faster results, right?
That's fantastic. And Shane, thanks so much for being such a great customer, such a great partner of ours, and I can't wait to see where this thing goes next. Any parting thoughts for the group?
Well, lastly, I just want to, I know I'm kind of gushing over Box, but we're very thankful for our partnership with Box. We couldn't be happier. And as far as I'm concerned, Box helps me and helps USAA with our mission to serve the military community, to be the provider of choice, and to be there at their times of need.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kid. Thanks, sir.
Thanks so much. I can't wait to see all of you use our platform and really leverage the capabilities of the platform. I'll leave you with some platform highlights. Thanks all.
You're managing a complex tech stack, tons of content, endless cyber threats, and the complexities of AI. With Box Platform, you can securely connect all your content, teams, and apps, empowering developers with tools that streamline your business and ignite growth. Save time by automating bulk updates using templated scripts with the Box command line interface. Unify all your content with more than 1,500 pre-built integrations and a robust library of APIs and SDKs that help you extend the power of Box. Add intelligence to your custom apps with help from Box AI APIs. And enhance your experience with rich interactive demos, sample code, and use cases in our new AI Dev Zone. Build seamless portals with Box as the content services layer, tailoring look and feel to suit your brand and delight your customers. Questions along the way? Get answers from detailed documentation, plus expert and peer guidance in our developer community. It's time to innovate with the Intelligent Content Cloud. See why tens of thousands of customers accelerate their build with Box Platform.
Please welcome Olivia Nottebohm, Chief Operating Officer.
Hi, everyone. Welcome again to BoxWorks. I hope you enjoyed the product keynote. We could not be more excited to be bringing to you the power of intelligent content management. I had a couple favorites. Let's take a look. The first was Box AI Studio, with an ability to customize AI and develop agents for you and your team to move faster and more accurately than ever before. Another highlight of mine was Box Apps, an ability to create unlimited apps to drive your content-centric workflows. And finally, Box Archive. We're bringing to you the ability to secure and keep your documents compliant in the archival state at a lower cost. I am so excited about these new innovations that were announced today. And we are building all of this for you. It is so excited to be on this journey and to see these amazing innovations. And more excitingly, we are bringing it together all in one plan so that you can access the power of intelligent content management. In fact, today I am announcing a new plan for Box, the Enterprise Advanced Plan. Imagine a world where you can power any of your teams, from marketing to sales to product to legal, to drive their own content-centric workflows and create their own agents. Yes, today we are announcing the Enterprise Advanced Plan. Yeah. Woo. All of these functionalities come together. You will be able to drive unlimited apps with Box Apps. You will be able to do metadata extraction at scale with our AI. You will be able to drive archival states where you can put your content in a secure and compliant state at a lower cost. And you will be able to create your own agents. All of this will be available, general availability, in the next 2 months. And we cannot wait to see what you will be able to do. All right. So one of our core values at Box is blow our customers' minds. And we think about doing this every single day. We believe that with intelligent content management, you are able to drive value for your customers. We see it in the secure collaboration you do, in the portals you create for your customers and your users, with the e-signatures that you drive on our platform, and with content workflows that you are building, and finally, with compliant content management. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. World Connect Corporation. This entity leverages us for document management. This organization is an energy management organization that has over 150,000 customers worldwide. It does over $50 billion in revenue and has over 200 locations. And they have turned to us for vendor onboarding, process approvals, and vendor and agency collaboration. In fact, when they moved onto the Box platform, they were able to retire their legacy ECM tools, as well as shut down over 70 server rooms globally. Additionally, they have integrations with Microsoft and Salesforce, driving seamless processes across their organization. Next, let's take a look at e-signatures. Centers Plan for Healthy Living is an organization focused on those who are eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, and they have 50,000 enrollees. They leverage Box to protect their patient data, and they use us to enroll their new patients, drive records management, and for collaboration across their sites. In fact, they have used the Box platform for over 100,000 e-signatures to date. And finally, let's turn to content workflows. Hendrick Automotive Group is the largest private retailer of automotives in the United States. It has over 100 locations and engages the Box platform to connect the DMV with their retailer and their accounting team. In fact, they have leveraged Box and the content platforms that they've enabled on Box to take processes that typically had taken 10 to 12 days down to only 3 days. They have used this 75% reduction in time to take that time and put it back onto the customers. We are so excited to see what they are doing across the world. And now, let's have a real customer example. Dan Morales is the CIO of Universal Music Group. Universal Music Group is one of the largest music companies in the world. In fact, they represent artists like Taylor Swift. I'm going to Vancouver in a couple weeks with my daughter. Luke Bryan and Rihanna. And they have 60 offices throughout the world. Dan is known as a thought leader, not only at UMG, but in the industry worldwide, in how he leverages technology to bring the joy of music to all of us. Welcome, Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
Can you tell us a little bit about the journey of UMG on Box and how long you've been a customer?
Absolutely. Universal Music has been a customer almost 15 years now, and I've been there coming up on 6 in April. And our journey's been fantastic because you guys probably don't realize the complexity to deliver the music that you guys listen to. And we've leaned in with Box to help with that collaboration with our artists and our labels to deliver that music.
That's wonderful. Can you tell us some of the value that you're driving through Box?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we find is we have about 6,000 internal users on Box and another almost 11,000 external. And so really the value comes from collaboration in a simple, easy way, because these users are typically labels, artists, artist managers, and they're not the most tech-savvy people, so you gotta make it easy, and they want it mobile first, so that makes it really easy. But on top of that, you can imagine with unreleased music, people want that, and we have to protect it. So the value of having Box Shield and security wrapped around that really gives us peace of mind so we can keep it under wraps before we release the music to the public.
Great. Well, I know you're an innovator, and so what of the things that were announced today gets you most excited?
Well, a couple of things. There's two, really. One being Box Hubs, hubs, and we're very proprietary in the music systems that we deal with, and so being able to take APIs and integrate that into our process to help streamline efficiency of delivering that, huge for us. The second, listening to the enhancements on security, around ransomware and things like that. When you imagine the artists that you spoke about, that you're taking your daughter, that is so protected, and the bad guys want access to that stuff. And so being able to actually protect that in a more proactive way is what we're looking forward to.
Great. Well, we're excited to go on that journey with you, and thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. The digital transformation to achieve the future of work is often complicated and hard. And we see often our customers turn to system integrators to help them on that journey. Slalom is a leading system integrator today. It is a professional services firm that delivers value at the intersection between business technology and humanity. And earlier today, we announced a partnership between Box and Slalom, where we are going together to take AI-led digital transformation to our customers. Here to talk to us more about this partnership today is Sarah Duffy from Slalom. Welcome, Sarah. Thank you, thank you. All right, so the topic is AI. I'm curious to know, when you're talking with your customers, what are the things they're most interested in about AI, specifically as it relates to content?
So great to be with you here today, Olivia. And I think you're seeing probably a lot of the same trends that we are seeing as well. And really what it is customers are trying to make sense of their data, both structured and unstructured, as you heard Aaron talking about this morning. And it's really now is the time that we're hopeful that AI can actually help us drive these insights. And whether it's on the front line or it's in the back office driving insights, whether it's making workflows more efficient, whether it's just helping workers, we are seeing that that is what they're really wanting in their AI journeys. And so for instance, in healthcare and financial services, we see AI-driven metadata extraction, and that is helping drive better transformation, compliance, and that is really helping drive value. And so what we see is that there is a real need to add value now, but also build capabilities for the future, and that's what we're really excited about.
I can only imagine the many topics you're covering with your customers. Can you talk a little bit about what are some of the interesting things that you saw today that you might think that your customers could leverage?
So speaking of AI, we love your AI announcements. Specifically, we love the intelligent content summarization, and we love the metadata extraction. So what we're imagining is that we'll be able to take these gobs of unstructured data that our customers have and really help them do pattern matching, help them do grouping, so that we can drive insights that are much faster without all the really specific prompts that have to happen. And we also really are happy about the kind of content permissions and security that Box provides, because that is a really important piece on any company's AI journey.
Terrific, could not agree more. And finally, could you fill us in on some of the details of this partnership that we announced today?
We are really happy, and I think putting the intelligent content management platform and Slalom's deep expertise in transformation, in AI integration, is really what this is all about. And what that means is we together are about driving customer outcomes. And what that means is we always lead with the business question that is most important to our customers. And so what that does for us is, together we're working on a couple of things. One of those is very industry-specific accelerators. Well, for retail, healthcare, and public sector, we are going to co-create some models that will help accelerate and get those industry questions very specifically going. And we're also launching workshops. And these workshops are really where our customers get to go deeply hands-on. It's a real learning experience, and with that momentum, they're able to take some steps forward. So we're really excited to do that together. But mostly this is about the long term, being able to add value in the immediate, present, and also be able to build capability for the future is what's really exciting, and driving outcomes for customers together is really what it's all about.
Great, terrific. I cannot wait to go through this partnership together. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Olivia.
All right, another core value, I promise this is the last core value, but this is a really important one here at Box, is make mom proud. And we think about this every day in how we engage with our team members, how we talk to our customers, and how we engage with our broader community. At Box, we have Box.org. Box.org supports over 11,000 nonprofits and donates over $50 million in in-kind product support through donation and discount programs. We are so excited to see that the impact that these mission-driven organizations are driving day to day. Today, we have collaborated with 3 specific nonprofits: Foster Nation, the International Rescue Committee, and the Nature Conservancy. Please use your mobile app to vote for which of those you would like us to be donating to. We are allocating $20,000 across these really 3 important nonprofits today. So dive in. And then finally, we have the Box Impact Fund. This fund is in its 4th year, and we award $150,000 in grants to 6 nonprofits, specifically focused in 3 areas. 1, child welfare; 2, crisis response; and 3, environmental protection. So if you are a nonprofit in one of those categories, please sign up today. And if you know anyone in your network who's eligible in those categories, please do so as well. We're excited to support nonprofits across the Box organization. And finally, I want to turn us to the end part of our keynote this morning. You have heard a lot about AI models and how the pace of innovation is constantly evolving. Here to talk to us today is Dario Amodei, the co-founder and CEO of Anthropic. Many of you know Anthropic for Claude, one of the leading AI models of our time. Dario will be joined on stage by our very own Aaron Levy. Please welcome them to the stage.
First. Yeah, if you want to go first. Yeah, because I'm on the other side. But I think, is there a voice guy we're waiting for? Okay.
Please welcome Dario Amodei, co-founder and CEO of Anthropic, and Aaron Levy, co-founder and CEO of Box.
All right. Okay, that was a ton of announcements, and hopefully everybody's kind of still taking it in. We'll obviously have lots of demo stations and ways to start to leverage these technologies and play around with them. Super excited to have Dario here today. Dario is obviously at the forefront of AI breakthroughs on a daily basis, and so we're hoping maybe you'll even break some news today on where we're at and things. But maybe just to kick things off with an easy softball, when is AGI? Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Eric.
Yes.
In terms of when is AGI, I don't know. I've gone on and on about how AGI is not a good term. There's only a continuous exponential. I would analogize it to if we're in 1995 and there's Moore's Law, someone says, when are we going to have supercomputers? The question doesn't make sense. A supercomputer is just a more powerful computer than
Wait, are
we
you
have
insulting
today.
my opening question? Did I totally flub the first question? Okay, so
the models are getting powerful very fast.
do you have sort of milestones that you think about if AGI is not one of those milestones?
Yeah, so I think a milestone that's pretty important is, when can models reliably do professional work, of the kind that many of your companies do, right? When can you go to a model and have it do not necessarily, complete jobs, but reasonable tasks at a level where a professional would look at it and say, this is up to snuff. I trust it in finance, in legal, in biomedical, in areas like insurance and productivity software, in programming, and I think not all those things will happen at once, but I think we're maybe at the start of a 2-year period where we're going to pass successively all of those thresholds.
I'm going to take us back in time in 1 second, but just while we're on this, and then we'll end up looping back. Where do you think, given that sort of paradigm of definition, where do you think we are with like software coding?
Yeah, coding is one of the things I'm the most bullish on. And one of the reasons I'm so bullish on it is that both as you're training the models and as you're applying the models in the world, a property of coding is that, one, it's easy to close the loop, right? You don't need, to go off in the world like you would with robotics. You don't need to test drugs as you would in biomedicine. It's just, does the thing compile? Does it run? Does it produce the product that I want it to have? And during training, that allows you to kind of close the loop without humans. When you're applying it, it allows you to say, hey, is this thing working?
Right.
And it allows you to trust more because verification is automatic. So progress in code has been fast. With Claude on SWE Bench, which is one of the measures of real-world software engineering tasks, we've gone from 3%, that was the state of the art, not only at Anthropic, but everywhere, in January of this year, to we just crossed 50% with the latest Sonnet 3.5 model. So this kind of S-curve.
And what is this a metric of? What is it measuring?
So basically, SWE Bench it's a bunch of real-world like pull requests or tasks. It's literally a slice of atomic units of work in coding. And so we have found that it correlates very well to doing things in the real world.
And it's not, there's no cheating where the models are training on that data set and then thus getting better at that?
No, it's kind of a held back data set with held back tests. So we're getting much more rigorous about these evaluations because, of course, the models are very smart and models can cheat and so forth.
And are you seeing an acceleration from that lower percentage to 50%, or are we going to see diminishing returns going forward?
I mean, you can only get to 100%, so we're going to see one of these S curves where it levels off, and then we'll get a harder benchmark that's like, these are things only Jeff Dean or whoever can do, or legendary, so pick your favorite legendary coder.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's always a new frontier. We'll always find new tasks.
Yeah. So you would love to get to the origin story of Anthropic. You were obviously early at OpenAI, and you guys had a view of another kind of approach. What's the origin story? How did that kind of get us to where we are today?
So, going back to when I was at OpenAI, and I was there since almost the beginning, led research for several years there. One of the things that I and the colleagues who I worked with, who eventually became the co-founders of Anthropic, were most responsible for was the pivot from things like robotics and reinforcement learning to large language models. And we developed we were early proponents of what's come to be called the scaling hypothesis or the bitter lesson, which is the idea that, more compute, bigger models, more data has this surprising ability to do a wide variety of tasks. The models nominally just predict the next word that sounds like fancy autocomplete, but turns out in those brains in the service of doing that task that, they get good at all the things we see today, like coding, like summarization, like document analysis, like all kinds of sorting and manipulation of information, like the kind you do and the kind that all your customers do. As we realized this, I started to think about the implications of it, that we would need to be very careful about how these systems were very powerful. We would need to be careful about how they were developed. One way you can think about it, the scaling hypothesis says you want a really powerful rocket, you need a big engine and you need fuel for your engine, right? Engine's like the model, the fuel is like the data. But what else do you need? You need to steer the rocket. In fact, you need to steer it very precisely. If you want to go to the moon or Mars, you need to be accurate by like, a hundredth of a degree or something like that. So in this analogy, this steering, I think we realized would be very important. And while folks were increasingly at companies I'd worked on getting on board with the scaling hypothesis, this idea of the importance of steering the models was one that we felt was really unique to us. And we see it in lots of practical ways with our enterprise customers. I think that the reliability of the models, the trustworthiness, the belief that they won't do unpredictable things is really holding back enterprise deployments of these models.
Yeah.
We've been the best at this, and this is why we're growing so quickly in both the enterprise space and the startup space, right? Our API business has grown way faster than that of anyone else, but still this problem is unsolved. Still there's much more to do in this area. We've been the best at it, but I think it's fair to say it's still not a fully solved problem.
What was the alternative thesis? If who said that less data would actually be useful? Was there another approach?
Like the alternative to the scaling hypothesis? I think the alternative was that there was some algorithmic secret, some scientific secret we hadn't figured out, and kind of undetermined, does that need to be scaled up? Does something else happen? But if you went to like the large AI labs in, say, 2017, all of them, right? I was at several of them. The most popular hypothesis was just the idea that, hey, we didn't invent the right architecture, or maybe deep learning itself was a dead end. So there were all these people looking in all of these directions. There are still people doing that. It still makes sense to do that. It makes sense to spread your bets. But the centrality of the scaling hypothesis was not, I think, understood.
And so, we've all been blown away in the past 2 years by the rate of change, the performance of these models. Claude, certainly right at the center of that. Some people think maybe we're at a data cliff, or there's some point where maybe we can't scale up another order of magnitude, or 2 order of magnitude, or 3. What's your view on that? Where are we at? Is this going to keep working?
Yeah. So I'm quite bullish on data, actually. One, I think there are sources of data that people aren't. There's a lot of data out there, right? Yeah. And I think there are additional sources of data.
What kind of data do you need at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think generally you need high quality data, right? You can get 100 trillion, maybe a quadrillion words from the internet, but a lot of it's search engine optimization. So you need data that actually contains knowledge, right? That's not kind of repetitive schemas or just whatever the internet is polluted with nowadays. So I think that's one direction, just generating more of it. Second is synthetic data. There's surprisingly many ways to generate synthetic data. If we go back to the AI world of 8 years ago, even 8 years ago when, Google DeepMind produced AlphaGo, right? The second version of that, AlphaGo 0, learned to beat the world master at Go just by playing against itself. It didn't train on human data. It didn't use anything from humans. It was just playing against itself. So you can think of that as a form of synthetic data, and we're working on similar things within Anthropic. And third is...
And sorry, one more time, just for all of us who are trying to keep track of what's left to come in the industry, the synthetic data is going to be like, you're going to generate an example contract or an example piece of code.
Yes, data that is generated by the model that looks like real data and then can be trained on.
Okay.
And you might say, well, isn't there something circular here? Like your model's generating data and then you're using it to train the model. And that's why I would point to the example of Go.
Yeah.
That somehow that we found ways for the model to, just by playing against itself, get much, much better.
Okay.
And so it sounds like it's circular. It sounds like you can't get a free lunch or produce something from nothing, but actually, if you do it right,
it's not like a self-propelling, machine or something that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at all the complexity created by evolution or by the market or something, there are all these kind of, infinite self-organizing processes that kind of allow you to make things better.
So, okay, so you think the data hypothesis hasn't changed, scaling hasn't changed. Maybe talk to us about the rate of improvement of models, whether that's on the dimension of speed, cost, or quality. How's that looking?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to continue, right? Our general view of it from a product perspective has been there are different trade-offs between, the intelligence of the model on one hand and the speed and cost of it on the other hand. And this is why we've offered different models, right? We have our line of models is Haiku is the small model, cheap, fast, and as smart as it can be for how cheap and fast. We recently released a Haiku 3.5. There's Sonnet, that's a model in the middle, and Opus, which is the largest, smartest model, but is correspondingly a bit slower and more expensive. And so our goal is to constantly shift out that frontier. Okay. That tomorrow's small, cheap model is as smart as yesterday's.
You could see Opus being the Haiku in another.
Yeah, Haiku 3.5, for example, is in most ways roughly comparable to Opus 3.
Wow.
So we've really shifted the curve very, very far, and that's going to continue. If we don't have, if we're not able to have more data, we'll rely on synthetic data. We'll rely on new methods like these reasoning type models that are being are kind of increasingly being released. So the scale up is going to continue. We don't see any slowdown on the horizon whatsoever.
Yeah. You mentioned the API business. Obviously, so just on stage, we announced Box AI Studio, where customers will be able to select Anthropic as an AI model for building an agent within Box. Summarize documents, execute tasks, automate workflows, pull out structured metadata. Where do you see AI in the enterprise? How do you see it relating to us as many folks as knowledge workers, but maybe even non-knowledge work? How is AI going to augment what we're doing?
Yeah, I would go back to my point about I have a strong instinct, and we're starting to see evidence of it, that the ability of AI to increase the productivity of businesses, to disrupt various industries, is much greater than what we've seen so far. Consumer is kind of out to an early lead in terms of use of AI, but we're seeing increasingly fast growth with enterprises. And the reason it's happening that way, the reason it's happening in that order, is actually this kind of reliability and steerability thing I talked about. You have this very powerful model. It's offered via API. You want to build something with it. And one of the issues, of course, is, can I trust this? Can I trust this to do something customer-facing? Can I even trust this to do something internally? Can I trust its quality of analysis? And so over the last probably year and a half, it's really been a story of starting with very limited deployments to see how they go, and then scaling up from there. It's probably happened fastest at startups, which may build their business entirely around a model, right? We've seen some examples of companies that do that, especially in the coding space. But there's much more value to be created within large enterprises, and I think we're starting to see that exponential growth increasingly. And so I think my main advice here for using models through Box or using models in general is think big. Think in terms of the big deployments. A lot of these concerns like hallucination, reliability, accuracy, ability to reason, these are being month by month with releases from us, from other companies too, for that matter. These problems are being mitigated month by month, and I think there's a very large amount of enterprise value to be created. The startups are leading the way, but it's starting to move towards larger companies.
Yeah,
and we're starting to see the curve accelerate in a way that I think is going to catch up to and surpass the consumer use of AI.
Do you, there's a long-standing debate, obviously, in Silicon Valley and elsewhere of, is this replace jobs? Does this make us more productive and then thus create jobs? What's your current view, at least in the near and medium term?
Yeah. So certainly in the short and medium term, I think this is going to make people more productive and enable them to do it's, and I think it will move things uniformly, right? It will move the middle, the average worker, but it will also enhance the capability of the most capable people. There's an economic principle called comparative advantage, and I think it's very powerful. Basically, let's say you're doing a job and an AI system suddenly is able to do 90% of your job. You might think, oh my God, there's going to be 10% less jobs for people like me, or I'm going to get paid 10% as much. But what really happens is that the humans focus on that 10%, and that either expands to fill the entire job, or there are new things humans can do that can complement the way in which the AI can do the job and can mitigate the weaknesses of the AI system.
Yeah.
And so it's really kind of a moving target, right? The economy finds new things for people to do, right? We used to have lots of jobs as typists. You had to write things out yourself. Now it's really easy, to do documents and to share them, and so there's a lot that people used to do that they don't do anymore, but there's all kinds of things you build on top of them, and there's more time for people to focus on the content.
Yeah.
So again, maybe there's some world of super intelligent AI that's better at literally everything, but we're not in that world. And what I see when I talk to and work with enterprises is creation of value and increased leveraging of humans rather than replacement of humans. There's a study from the economist Eric Brynjolfsson, who's been studying the economics of AI and automation for, I think it's a couple decades. He wrote a book called The Second Machine Age. That must have been 10 or 15 years ago. And he said, he did a study where he showed that by default, enterprises may try to replace humans with AI, but their productivity gains are much less when they do that. Productivity gains are greater when they think of ways to complement. It's laziness that causes the kind of replacement narrative.
Yep.
If you think more about where the gaps actually are, you have instead a complement narrative, and that tends to actually increase productivity more because it's more targeted at what the AIs are actually good at, and what the humans are actually good at.
Yeah, I think I tend to find maybe two flaws in the thinking of sort of stagnation with AI from a job standpoint. The first is that we're not in competitive fields. So there's sort of this idea that, to your point about the productivity gain, I'm going to use AI, I'm going to automate something, and I'm going to bank those gains to some sort of, kind of ephemeral, amorphous profit line that I need to, hit, which in practice, I have competition. And if that competition doesn't bank those gains, and instead they reinvest those gains back into their company and their productivity, then I'm going to basically lose and I'll be out of business. And so a lot of times when you get a productivity gain, let's say you make sales reps more productive or coders more productive, you just reinvest those dollars back into that same function because you can get more done with it.
Or a different function, or a different
function, whatever the next...
whatever it is.
Exactly.
This is like the lump of labor.
Yes.
There's not a fixed amount of work to be done in the economy.
Right.
Like if you get more efficient at doing some work, then skill reallocates and retrains to...
Which gets to then the second thing, which is like this sort of, fix sum, kind of mindset, which is like, if we could just do that one task that AI made faster, we're just on to the next task. Like there's not...
Exactly.
It's not like a finite number of tasks for us to go do. There's not a finite number of my biggest problem, let's say dealing with the, healthcare system is actually how long it takes to get scheduled for the next, healthcare checkup you want to do. Like the idea that we could automate and make a doctor 10% more efficient, that just means, that means I'm next in line that much faster in the healthcare system. There's an infinite amount of demand for so many of these industries if AI could actually make us more productive. So that brings us to an essay that you just wrote.
Yes.
A few weeks back, and you had this idea, which is a super profound concept of sort of the compressed 21st century. What was the thesis there? Where do you expect to kind of see that play out next?
Yeah, so my basic idea was, again, if we get to the point where, AI is, kind of past the professional level at most tasks, and we're able to build millions of these systems, you could think of this as, you might describe it as, a country of geniuses in a data center. And that's a bizarre situation, right? Civilization has never been in that situation before. What happens when that's, you just instantly invent everything that could be invented? And I give a bunch of reasons why I don't think it'll go that way. But what I do think could happen is that if we look at, the next 100 years of what, we are trying to invent in science and engineering, perhaps all of that could happen in 5 or 10 years. And because I used to be a biologist, I focused particularly on the biology side of things, on biomedical discoveries, ranging from academics to biotech companies to large pharma companies. And I think there's really, potential to conquer many of the afflictions we still face, right? A lot of the easy ones, like diseases that were addressed by sanitation or vaccination or antibiotics, we've solved. But things like cancer and Alzheimer's disease, much more complicated. And so I'm wondering if AI is really what we need to understand that complexity and to surmount those diseases, frankly, much faster than I think most of us are imagining. We're getting used to a world where those diseases are very hard to address and progress is very slow. I don't think it needs to be that way. I think if we get it right, these incurable diseases we could actually overcome, and we'll look back at them the way we look back at bubonic plague or mumps or whatever it is nowadays.
I try to not look back on the bubonic plague, so that'd be
no one likes thinking.
That'd be nice to move on from whatever that version is now. So compressed 21st century, kind of acceleration across so many different spaces. Maybe to bring us home, what's your favorite thing to do with AI at the moment?
I really like it for coding. I mean, it may just be that Claude, we spend a lot of time, on coding for Claude. I think the second thing is, like writing. I write I've written this essay, but also...
Wait, was that not you that I read?
I use Claude to help me. Every word comes from me.
Okay.
I actually find the style of all existing LLMs isn't quite good enough if I'm trying to write something really good, but it's really good at kind of like generating ideas and helping me think things through, and then the final version I kind of write myself.
Yeah. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Dario, we appreciate the partnership. We're excited to keep working with you guys, and thanks for coming out to BoxWorks.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, back to you, Olivia.
Thank you, Dario, and thank you, Aaron. All right, so I am between you and all of the sessions ahead, so I'll make this fast. First of all, I want to thank all of our sponsors for making today possible. Thank you to all of you. Please go check out their booths in the expo hall. And then what does the rest of the day hold in store for us? First, there are sessions downstairs. We'll be starting those about 10 minutes late, just to give you all a chance to stand up, maybe grab a snack, and dive in. There are 3 different tracks. Please explore and learn all the things you'd like to learn. And then please go into the expo hall to see the product innovations. And then finally come back and hear from the CEO of Slack and the CEO of Zoom about technology advancements at their company and more broadly. And then we will wrap it up with the award-winning director, Ron Howard. Many of you know Ron Howard as the director of Apollo 13, or A Beautiful Mind. He also delivered us the Emmy Award-winning show, Arrested Development. And Ron Howard is known for leveraging technology to push the boundaries of storytelling and bringing us the joy of film. With that, I hope you all have had a wonderful morning. I'm excited to see you throughout the day, and come back and join us for the final keynote at the end of the day. Welcome to BoxWorks.